Hey everybody, this is a follow-up to my video of a couple days ago entitled Teotihuacan and Solomon's Temple. When I uploaded that, I just noticed a similarity, uploaded it, and was kind of done with it in a hurry, and I didn't really put a lot of research into it, and a few people asked me to do some follow-up research, and this is what I came up with. Now, this image you're looking at on your screen was done for me yesterday by my friend Julie. She put a lot of time into it. I want to thank you a lot, Julie. That was very sweet of you. Did a great job. But what she did is overlay Solomon's Temple on the north end of the structure at Teotihuacan, and she also overlaid the human body on it. And down here she put a little info box on Teotihuacan, and she put a diagram how the three major pyramids mirror the three belt stars of Orion. And she had it leading into the Orion Nebula, and if you follow Danny Wilton's work, you know the spiritual significance of that. I'm going to leave a link for Julie's channel in the description below. If you haven't subbed her, please sub her. I think she just might have some pretty interesting uploads coming up in the not-too-distant future. Hope I didn't put pressure on you there, Julie, but anyway. One thing I did want to mention that Julie pointed out to me, and I want to thank you again for that, Julie, is this I said was the Pyramid of the Sun the other day. This is actually the Pyramid of the Moon. The Pyramid of the Sun is down here. So I needed to correct myself on that. I didn't put a lot of study into my last upload, but that is one thing that I should correct. Now, the names of these pyramids were given to them by cultures who came in and settled around this area centuries after these pyramids were built, so we should take the names kind of with a grain of salt. And the true function, why these were laid out the way they were, we simply do not know, because they were built by some unknown culture that probably passed down their knowledge to the Mayans and the Olmecs. Here we have the overlay of Solomon's Temple on the structure at Teotihuacan, and it lines up perfectly. Starting at the bottom, we have this altar of sacrifice in Solomon's Temple, and it is centered right over this area coming out of the Pyramid of the Sun here. You bring this up, the holy place in Solomon's Temple fits right inside of the plaza at Teotihuacan. This outside where it says pre-cells comes down right over these structures on the outside of the plaza. We have the stairway where leading up to where the ark is, overlays the stairway right here in front of the pyramid. The Holy of Holies pretty much covering the very central part of the top of the pyramid. So is that a coincidence? I really don't think so. And here we have the human body overlaid at Teotihuacan, and furthering this research along, and if I'm going to say that this represents Solomon's Temple, or if Solomon's Temple was a copy of Teotihuacan, I think this overlay is very important to do. Now you notice how the center of the head, the pineal gland, which represents your spiritual center, is right over the top of the pyramid. The tops of the shoulders match up with the top of the courtyard here. The ribs fit right inside of the holy place, or the plaza at Teotihuacan. The arms come down right out perfectly on the outside of the plaza. The rib cage fit right inside of what is called the holy place at Solomon's Temple. And if you follow the spine down, he is standing right on this structure here coming out of the Pyramid of the Sun. And that again matches up with the altar of sacrifice at Solomon's Temple. So if you have him standing on here, the head matches, the arms match, the inside of the rib cage match, and it seems like the waistline matches up perfectly with the bottom of the plaza here. So that fits very well. Now, we do not know why this structure was laid out the way it was. I did a lot of research on this yesterday, and I couldn't find anybody else really comparing Solomon's Temple and Teotihuacan. So I think this is very important to put out there. The Mayans, just like the Egyptians, put as much symbology into their monumental architecture, artwork, hieroglyphs, stuff like that. So they very well could have included this in their thought process, just like the Egyptians put so much thought into their complex at Giza. I also thought this was worth bringing up. This says coincidence, imagination, or historical fact. The Staircase of Teotihuacan and the ancient Chinese-Japanese characters pronounced ten, or the sky heaven, or stairway to heaven. And these characters symbolize this. The sky, the apparent vault to heaven, is the highest place in the universe. The head is the highest part of the human body, hence the idea of representing the sky and heaven by a man's head on the rest of the body. And if you look here, this is a big symbol on the pyramid at Teotihuacan, and it looks very much like this ancient symbol representing the head or the stairway to heaven on top of the body. I thought that was worth bringing up. And I also thought this was worth bringing up. This is just one author's opinion, but I thought it was worth mentioning. It says this. As reported by Graham Hancock in 1994, there are numerous faded murals on the western wall of Teotihuacan, now visible in the magic of Adobe Photoshop color manipulation. What makes the revelation of these kings and queens even more interesting is that a very large bearded image appears on the right of the staircase in cultures not known for facial hair. As this figure spans 3 levels of the temple structure, this image can only be of the highest importance. Some historical bearded figures come to mind in my unscientific reasoning. Enoch, Abraham, Moses, and Solomon, to name a few. What is curious is that in the lower portion, the bearded figure contains a very young prince or princess with a pointed crown, which I previously believed was associated with Judaic priests or loyalty. So I thought that was worth mentioning. And I also think it's important to mention the work of Danny and his video concerning the Mayan 3 hearthstones and the heart of the sky and the center of the Mayan universe. The Mayans got passed down the knowledge from whoever built these pyramids, that's what I believe. And I believe this is another important thing to look at as far as the symbology put into these pyramids. I'm going to leave the link for Danny's video below also. I think that is also part of the puzzle. And to finish off my upload, I thought I'd bring you down to Google Street View and give you a ground's eye view of the Pyramid of the Moon and what it looks like if you're standing in front of it. I think this is one of the most mysterious places on Earth, maybe one of the oldest. Ranks right up there with Giza, Baalbek, Tiwanaku, places like that. And I thought I would read a little bit out of Graham Hancock's chapter on Teotihuacan from his book, Fingerprints of the Gods. I think that would be a good way to finish this video. Now, I'm going to start right where he has climbed to the top of the Pyramid of the Moon, and here is what he says about this ancient civilization that built these that we know nothing about. Indeed, it seemed to me then, as I overlooked the mathematical city of the gods from the summit of the Pyramid of the Moon, that our species could have been afflicted with some terrible amnesia, that the dark period so blithely and dismissively referred to as prehistory might turn out to conceal unimagined truths about our own past. What is prehistory after all, if not time forgotten, a time for which we have no records? What is prehistory if not an epoch of impenetrable obscurity through which our ancestors passed, but which we have no conscious remembrance? It was out of this epoch of obscurity, configured in mathematical code along astronomical and geodetic lines, that Teotihuacan, with all its riddles, was sent down to us. And out of that same epoch came the great Olmec sculptures, the inexplicably precise and accurate calendar the Mayans inherited from their predecessors, the inscrutable geoglyphs of Nazca, the mysterious Andean city of Tiwanaku, and so many other marvels of which we do not know the provenance. It is almost as though we have wakened into a daylight of history from a long ago and troubled sleep, and yet continue to be disturbed by the faint and haunting echoes of our dreams. So, that is from Fingerprints of the Gods. If you like ancient history and you have not read Fingerprints of the Gods, I can't recommend it strongly enough. So, Solomon's Temple, Teotihuacan, is there a connection? Well, hopefully this video just proved there absolutely certainly is. Hope you liked it. Have a nice day.